Hello, fellow karate. I'm Pedro Candeias, the founder of Karate Science Academy. Welcome to a new open lesson on Karate Science Academy's YouTube. This time in a different format from what I'm used to do. Okay, I'm going to share with you 20-minute analysis of some exercises that elite WKF athletes share on their Instagram, their social media. And I really believe you can take in just 20 minutes very practical knowledge that you can easily use in your next strength and conditioning session, okay? Especially speed, power, that is the main focus of karate's strength and conditioning. Not the only one, but it's our main priority, okay? So this is like this special week with 5 analysis. Today we are going to start with Sandra Sanchez, the Olympic champion in female kata. And I decided to bring this new type of format because like a preparation, a warm-up for the special online event I'm going to promote next week. Totally free, totally open from 23 to 27 of August. And dedicated to the theme Move Faster in Kumite and Kata, where I'm going to share with you 3 open master classes, very, very deep and practical knowledge. I don't know how much time will last each master class, but at least minimum 1 hour each, okay? So please, if you are not registered and you believe it can add some value to your work as a karate coach, you have all the information in the link in the description of this video, okay? So let's roll it because I decided to dedicate just only 20 minutes to each analysis, okay? So I'm going to try to give you as much value as I can in these 20 minutes. I'm not going to be able to share every detail of the training with you, but it's a great starting point, and it will clarify lots of things that are made not so well in strength and conditioning of karatekas all over the world. So everything I share with you is 100% evidence-based. Those who follow me know that. So let's see 3 exercises from Sandra Sanchez. To reinforce and to understand better what I'm going to share with you here, please watch the first open lesson that is available in Karate Science Academy's channel on YouTube, dedicated to the 4 training zones of muscle power, where you are going to see we'll clarify lots of things. It's just one lesson. If you understand the way power development works in terms of training methodology, you are going to understand way better what I'm going to share in these 5 analyses along this week. Okay, so let's see. Sandra Sanchez is performing an exercise part, okay, of a specific kata she performs in competition, okay, and she added a rubber band in the ikite part of the sequence. Okay, so let's see. Rubber bands, great equipment, great tool, cheap to use in a dojo if you don't have access to a gym, for example. It's cheap, it's easy to use, but we must know some details in order to choose the right rubber band resistance to the goal you have in training. Okay, so when you work out with rubber bands and your goal is to develop speed, maximum power, it's different from working with a rubber band to develop endurance strength or hypertrophy or maximal strength or whatever. Okay, so today I'm going to focus on speed, okay, and power, because when we speed and power in the 2 and in the zones 3 and 4 of power training, go to that lesson I talked about in a few minutes. Okay, we have the zone of speed and the zone of speed strength, and I'm going to focus there in this exercise, okay, because probably it's what Sandra is trying to do, is to increase her speed in the equite phase, okay, of the sequence, okay? So let's see. Analyze video one. Video one. So rubber band. If you want to focus on maximum speed development, you have to choose a rubber band that demands from you that you feel it's a light effort when you make the movement with maximum contraction speed, okay? So if you look at the scale from 1 to 10, you have to where the 0, the 1, the 2 is making the movement with your, for example, your arm alone, okay? You add some resistance with the rubber band, but you must choose a rubber band that causes a light perception of effort, greater than your arm alone, but a light effort in every rep you perform to develop maximum speed. Okay, so light effort. Your perception must be light effort. When we work out with we work with dumbbells, okay, barbells, whatever, kettlebells, you can measure, you can quantify the load you are using. Okay, with the rubber bands, it's more difficult to do that, so we must rely on a validated scientific tool, okay, that is the rate of perceived exertion, okay, specific for strength training and specific for rubber bands. And when you use one of those tools, you are going to ask your athletes, karatecas, to perform the exercise, each repetition, with a rubber band that demands a light effort, okay? So you will ask them to make 3 to 6 reps per set, okay, at maximal speed contraction, okay? Why do we have a range between 3 to 6 reps? This is an average range, okay? You must stop the set you are performing in the repetition you feel that fatigue will start to install and doesn't help you to perform at your maximal speed, okay? If you had some form of measuring your speed of movement in each rep, when in the rep where your speed would lower, would decrease, it's time to stop the set. But on average, most of people will be able to perform 3 to 6 reps at their maximal repetition, a maximal speed contraction, I'm sorry, okay? So you can find an athlete that might make 7 reps without feeling any decrease, okay, in speed, but most of times you will find athletes that will feel that decrease in the repetition number 4 or 5, and then you decide to stop the set, okay? How many sets? The same thing, the same principle. Depends on the conditioning of your athlete. You might have an athlete that can only perform 1 set at his or her maximal speed contraction, and then fatigue installs, and the next set the effort is not perceived the same way. He feels more tired, for example. The movement is not so fast. Or you can make 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets per muscle group, okay? You have to know the muscle groups that are involved and manage it like that. I'm not going to be able to give you all the information here, but I'm already giving you, I'm sorry, I'm Portuguese, so this English sometimes fails me, okay? So it might be 3 sets of the exercise, 4 sets, because if you have a more prepared athlete, you will be able to perform more reps at his or her maximal speed contraction with the sensation of a light effort. Okay, so this is important to know. Let's see now the second exercise. The principles are the same, but she is doing a lower limb exercise following the same principle. She's using rubber bands. She put 2 rubber bands. It might be what she needs to have the sense of a light effort. The effort is there. It's more than just making the movement with the body weight, but it's just a way of feeling a light effort in each rep. Okay, I'm not saying that working power with heavier rubber bands it's wrong. It has its role depending on the level of preparation your athletes are, depends on the phase of the season you are. So go and see the lesson about the 4 training zones for muscle power. But if we are focused, as Sandra was here, very close to the Olympic Games, okay, she was probably highly focused on speed development, on specific speed development. So if you are in a phase like that, just go to your optimal power zone training, okay? But you must add in the long term some exercises, some loads, some training sessions in the 4th zone of power training, in the 4th speed zone, okay? All the zones are important, but we have to manage it, okay, along the year, the season, the progression of an athlete, okay? The exercises, as you can see, Sandra Sanchez is performing 2 very specific exercises, 2 exercises that are similar to the techniques she needs to perform during during kata performance, okay? Great, whenever you can do that, it's perfect, okay? You must always choose exercises that are similar to karate techniques and add them the right load, or multi-joint exercises, more general, that we're going to see now in the next video, okay? Let me just see if I missed something. Okay, here I think it's all the information I can share with you in this period of time. Okay, so second video, we are talking about a very general exercise, okay? A squat. And the squat is a multi-joint exercise that will be transferable to karate performance. Be aware of this, because not every exercise you make at the gym, at the dojo with some external loads will have the same transfer to karate, okay? Multi-joint exercises are those you must choose when you are not performing exercise similar to karate techniques. You choose a squat, a deadlift, a bench press, a shoulder press, a row. So you must choose multi-joint exercise as this, okay? So let's see this. This is a great example of the role the exercise you choose as in your outcomes, okay? Many people believe that the secret of the outcomes you take from the training sessions in terms of strength and conditioning come from the exercise itself. But that's not true. It's important to choose multi-joint exercise or similar to karate techniques, of course, because you must choose exercise with highly transfer to karate performance. But then when you grab the exercise, you can have many different outcomes from that exercise depending on the methodology, on the protocol you use. For example, the squat that Sandra Sanchez is performing here, you can use it to develop speed, power, maximal strength, explosive strength with maximal loads, endurance strength, hypertrophy, maximal strength, okay? So you can with the same exercise, depending on the methodology you use, you will have different outcomes, different results. Your neuromuscular system will react differently to the different protocols and methodologies you use, okay? So don't forget this. So now let's analyze the exercise itself. Sandra Sanchez is performing a squat in a multi-power Smith machine with the coach as a spotter, okay? Jesus Del Moral here. And by the load, the perception I have of the effort of Sandra Sanchez here, she probably is training with a heavy load for her level of strength, and she can use this exercise, for example, to train two things related to speed and power in kata. One is what I call the traditional method for power training, okay? And here you are going to use to train, for example, Sandra, let's suppose it's focused on developing her zones of strength, speed, or strength. So she will use a load from 50 to 8% of one repetition maximum. In other words, maximal strength. 50 to 80% of her maximal strength, okay? The traditional method for power training is valid, it's important, it can be used in several ways. That's, for example, in several scenarios. For example, if you have a karateka that starts in the gym, then you want him or her to progress to ballistic training. That is another power training method, very important and more effective to develop power in the pushing movements of karate, punches, kicks, displacements, jumps, etc. While the traditional method for power training is the best solution you have to pulling movements as the ikite or the returning of the leg after a kick, for example. But it's also valid for pushing movements in some cases, as if you are in a more conservative moment of your training, if you want to avoid, for example, some injury potential, because you are very close to the competition. If you have an athlete that is making the progression between an adaptation phase in the gym and the more intense rapid strength methods, for example, you can use the traditional method for power training in those scenarios, okay, ideally. But she can also be training explosive strength with maximal loads, okay? We are talking here with a load that is superior to 90% of your maximal strength, okay? Where you can perform just 1 to 3 maximal repetitions. We are talking about the most advanced strength training you can perform, the most intense, because you ask your neuromuscular system to make two things: to produce the highest level of strength possible at the greatest contraction speed possible, okay? So it's the most advanced is the method you put in the training program of your athlete when he or she is more experienced. And it's great, and it's the best method to stimulate the takeoff, especially from static stances that occur many times in kata and sometimes in kumite, when you want to take off very, very fast. That first phase of the takeoff from the position you are, especially from a static stance, it's the best method you might use to develop that capacity, okay? But you have to develop the right progressions to your athletes to achieve this method, okay? So here you can, Sandra Sanchez might be working with the traditional method for power training, or might be performing an exercise with an explosive strength with maximal loads protocol. Okay, it depends on the load she's moving. You can see here that she is lifting 100 kilograms. Okay, many times we make the mistake of trying to use the load that is being used by the athlete himself or herself. Okay, that's a huge mistake, because you must adapt the load to your level of strength into the method you want to use in that training session or training cycle. For Sandra Sanchez, depending on the method she's using, 100 kilograms is the right load. For some of us, it might be too much or too lower, okay, too low. So we must know how to determine our maximal strength approximately, so we can then calculate the load I should use to train my explosive strength with maximal loads or my power with a traditional method, as we can see here. So we always must know how to adapt the load to our athlete's capacity, technique, intermuscular coordination, experience, postural control, levels of strength, etc., etc. Okay, just let me just call the. We reached the 20 minutes now, but just one more thing. You are watching Sandra Sanchez, a top level athlete, using a Smith machine that has a sliding bar that is stabilized, and it's not is not that demanding as the free weights, the barbell, for example, outside the Smith machine. Working with free weights, it's very important because it gives you a three-dimensionality of the exercise. It will obligate your intermuscular coordination to develop more. Your neutralizers, your stabilizers, all of them will work more than in the Smith machine, but we can never put aside the machines, the Smith machine, for example, or any other machine in the gym, because they might be useful in certain situations. In this situation, you are able to produce more strength when you are more stabilized. You can feel more confident doing like this, instead of using the free barbell. Sandra was very close to the Olympic Games. It can be, for example, a choice to avoid any risk of a possible injury that would impair her performance in the Olympics. Okay, so let's not be radical about the equipments to use in your strength and conditioning program, because all of them are different tools that might be needed in specific situations. Okay, so we are done for today. Tomorrow we have another lesson analyzing other athletes from WKF strength and conditioning training. I hope I might find you in the special online event Move Faster in Kumite and Kata. All the information is below in the description of this video. From 23 to 27 of August, everything online, 3 very evidence-based deep masterclasses. Okay, see you, my friends. Best wishes and be happy.